The following video is about something that conservative politicians have decided to bring up about Biden that Donald Trump did more of. This is something that's brought up every time Obama is brought up, the two times that he ran the country, and an outright refusal to acknowledge that what it actually works out as mathematically. And Second Amendment advocates that somehow think that only private citizens are supposed to have firearms or cartridges. They're not called bullets. But if you're going to say they're hollow point bullets, okay, you're referring to the bullets, so I guess we have to not criticize Second Amendment advocates that don't know the difference between a magazine and a clip. But let's move on. 2023 Biden era, 5 million rounds of ammunition to the IRS. 80,000 treasury agents. Spread between them, that's 26 rounds each. Or we can decide that it's at 1,600 some odd rounds for 3,000 criminal investigation agents, which are the ones that have to carry. Never mind how many people actually have to carry, or might have to qualify to be considered. Okay, let's move on. That would work out to 139 a month or 33 a week, and yelling about them having 4,461 guns shared between 3,000 agents as 3,200 pistols, 620 shotguns, 500 around 40 rifles, and 15 machine guns, and 4 fucking revolvers. Yes, they counted them. That doesn't seem excessive unless you've decided that they can only have quite literally one gun each or no guns, but they can have the bullets somehow. How many of you are gun geeks? How many of you go to the rifle range once a week and use only 33 bullets? That's one stinking extended mag. At least that, I call it a standard mag, but one extended mag. That's it. That's all you fire. That's your allotment restriction. That's excessive. 5 million rounds spread under 3,000 criminal investigators. That's 1,600 rounds a year. How many of you are gun geeks and use more rounds? Yeah, but. No, there isn't a yeah, but. How many of you do more? So you want them less armed and less trained. And remember, they're supposed to carry hollow points because that's effective at stopping an attacker. That's what they're for. These are IRS agents. They're T-men. This is treasury agents. Anti-Capone squad, okay? But are you semaphoring? You don't want anybody to do an audit on you, so we want them unarmed so that you can do your Christian patriotic truther duty of, I don't want you in complete the sentence. What about Trump? Trump era IRS had more guns and about the same number of rounds. It's all Biden's fault they dropped 26 guns, right? There are fewer IRS agents now than during Trump, but is that going to be the complaint? It's always around 3,000 criminal investigation agents, actual T-men, actual IRS agents that go off and do this stuff. Well, and then people immediately in the comment section, they're paranoid about someone trying to collect taxes from them. If you pay your taxes every year, what? This that's an oddly specific fear. Let's move on. Also, Trump era. Let's look up all the other things. 174,000 rounds. Social Security Administration, hollow points. It has a little under 300 agents. For its Office of Inspector General, a law enforcement agency, that works out to a little under 600 per agent year at the range, 50 a month or 12 a week. But you don't want them having hollow points being used for training. And then go look up every single YouTube channel that tells you don't have training ammo. You should use the ammo you're going to use when you're carrying. But I don't want to. And then they call you a wimpy little bitch because you don't actually use the ammunition you're going to be firing if you need to. Meanwhile, they're required by law to actually train with the ammo they shoot because just like the IRS and FBI and everybody else are told this, they take the same advice that you see from gun gurus on YouTube. But suddenly, even those same gun gurus, in at least one case, got angry that they were carrying hollow points. And then invoked the Hague and the Geneva Convention and all that shit that The U.S. government didn't sign on to the rule about using expanding bullets. They didn't actually do that. What about the 450 million rounds for the Department of Homeland Security? Really, the Department of Homeland Security isn't supposed to have ammunition and weapons. Okay, that's 40 caliber, and that's over 5 years. That's for 72,000 armed agents. Now that works out per range year, per individuals. That works out to 6,000 rounds or so. But if you divide it by 5, because that was for 5 years, but people ignore that, that works out to 1,200 rounds per year at the range, or 100 for a month, or 25 a week. So they get a couple of extended Glock mags or something. That's you're not allowing that. Okay, you don't. Every one of you fuckers that does not want to have an extended magazine or a large capacity magazine ban, but you want agents for the Department of Homeland Security and the IRS to have a magazine limit. You want them to have an ammo limit that you can't follow. Okay, let's move on. Department of Homeland Security, 25 a week. Okay. What about the Department of Agriculture? Well, they run the U.S. Forest Service, 320,000 rounds and 542 agents. That's a little under 600 per year, or 50 a month, or 12 a week at the range. But they're not supposed to have hollow points because apparently you believe it should be deer season, or it should be treated like an act of war for them so they're supposed to use round-nosed bullets. Okay, fine. 100 million rounds, FBI hollow point. For the love of God, the FBI isn't supposed to have fucking ammunition. Please tell me what the sky looks like in your universe. They have 35,000 fucking agents and 100 million rounds. That's 2,800 a year, or 52 a week, or 238 a month. But that was actually for 5 years, so that worked out to 571 rounds a year, or 11 a week. They buy them in bulk every 5 years, or whatever, between administrations preferably, so they can get them the ammunition, and then they just allot them a certain amount from an ammo storage. Because it's the fucking FBI. They're this close to being a military. Or a police force. How much does your police force take in? I don't see any of these conservatards screaming about the local police department unless they get pulled over and get a fucking ticket and suddenly they're all about defund the police. Okay, we have 46,000 rounds for the National Weather Service. That's not who it was for. But people kept putting in National Weather Service. 40 caliber hollow points. This was for NOAA. Well, NOAA Fisheries Office of Law Enforcement. They have 63 agents. That's 700 each, or 200 rounds in a duty bag, which is what they broke it down to, and 530 rounds for 2 firearm qualification trainings a year, or spreading it out per month or week at range time. This was not the National Weather Service, but you can scream that it was. NOAA isn't just the National Weather Service. These people are NOAA, National Oceanographic, yada yada. We have NOAA radar, but NOAA is the coastlines. They're not the Coast Guard, but they cover another thing. Look up what NOAA is and find out it isn't the Weather Service. NOAA provides weather data for the same reason that the airport provides weather data. That doesn't mean they're the Weather Service. That means they're airports. The FAA is not a weather service, but they ended up being one because they had to because don't fly into storms. Let's move on. All agents have to qualify with a specific number of cartridges per year in order to be gun qualified, and so do some non-agents. Now, we're going to go to the next one. U.S. Postal Service gets a bunch of ammo. This goes with the FEMA video I wasn't able to do because every website I ran into decided to be pissy, but let's move on. U.S. Postal Service. No, it's postal inspectors. These are people dealing with cocaine being shipped through the post office. These are people who are doing, working coordination. They have to fucking be armed. They can execute federal search warrants, serve subpoenas, make arrests, and must carry guns as federal law enforcement agents. And if we use the above, since there's 3,000 of them, just like they have for the IRS, aka the treasury men. Can they have the same IRS allotment? That would amount to a little over 140 a month or 33 a week that they could fire per individual. By the way, that's actually an underestimate. There's actually more of them, postal inspectors, that people who work in the same capacity that have to have firearms. Because again, they're dealing with people who are going to murder them because they confiscate a couple of $1 million worth of goddamn snow. That works out to 5 million rounds too. It's kind of funny that the actual IRS agents that some of you are very paranoid about for some reason, and the U.S. Postal Service have the same number, about the same number of agents each year. And again, this was going on during Trump and Obama and Biden. But what are they gearing up for? It's coming soon. Predicting this since the beginning of time, every paranoid schizophrenic. Second Amendment activists say that they are alarmed by all of this. I think they're alarmed by doing math. It breaks down per week. Let's review. The FBI uses 11 a week or 52 a week. Okay. National Weather Service, no, it was NOAA, which is a different fucking thing entirely. Had 200 rounds they're required to have in a duty bag and 530 rounds for 2 qualifications during the year or during weekly or monthly. That's a smaller number than the other ones. Let's move on. Department of Agriculture, U.S. Forest Service people. Again, a week at the range, 12 shots. Then we have the Department of Homeland Security, 25 shots a week. Then we have the Social Security Administration because they have an entire inspector general that goes after people breaking the law. 12 a week. And under Trump, IRS, same number as under Biden. Actually, it's lower under Biden. 33 a week. One extended mag. Now, if any of you reposted any of these memes without figuring out, was this just a 1-year allotment or every 5 years? It's usually 5 years. I'm giving some of these the anti-benefit of the doubt and making them per year, and it still doesn't work out to something more excessive than something I've seen people brag about doing at the range because they go fucking bullet happy. Unless you're reloading, I can't understand how you can afford that. You must be, oh man, you must be doing really good in life to be able to afford that much fucking ammo. Ammo's like gold sometimes. And these guys, these organizations get these in bulk by doing giant bulk purchases from the same companies that provide ammo to American citizens. And the reason they use hollow point bullets is, number one, they're more effective and you can fire less often. Number two, you train how you game. You train how you fight. You fire the same ammo as you would for duty usage. And then someone's going to start commenting below. I know, that's fine. I'm very happy for you. Not one fucker out there who has to do this shit gets told this stuff and thinks, I'm not supposed to fire the same ammo and training I would be needing to use if there was an emergency. Really? Okay. But it's all Biden's fault that they're actually buying less ammo than during Trump and buying have fewer firearms. By the way, that's the assessment of the number of firearms they have. That doesn't mean they purchased them. That means they have them at any time. By the way, they cycle them out because guess what shit wears out? The shit that's wearing out now that they're replacing was from during Trump. So unless you're going to tell them to reload the ammo after getting it out of their targets, I don't really see any way around this. I still like that they broke it down to include 4 fucking revolvers. And all these fuckers in the IRS, 4 of them are walking around old school. I love this shit. I hope they open carry. It'd be fucking awesome. Nothing bulges better than a cylinder. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. And if any of you have decided to politicize this, don't bitch about it being politicized towards you. What are you really up to at the range?